Hi, my name is Kyle. I've made multiple six figures for my clients and personally I've made over $30,000 last month. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly when you should either choose to learn or take action. Now, in this video, I wanted to just talk directly to you. I don't want to draw anything because I think this is something that is a very hard decision for a lot of people. Now, a lot of people, when they first get into choosing to learn or take action, they do it based off their feelings and emotions. So for example, people go to uni because they feel like they need a degree or they need more skills before they can get the job that they need to do. Now, in the uni example, if you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, sometimes you need that degree, right? You need that qualification or that certification in order to get past the first step, which is being let into the room and getting the job. But when you don't have that requirement, whereas in you could take action now already, but it wouldn't be to a standard that you are happy with. The way I decide and the framework I think through when choosing whether I need to learn more or to take action is based off data if I have it, or if not, it's can I get the outcome I'm looking for with the current information that I know? And how certain am I of that? Now that is also sort of based off feeling, but it's also objective in terms of you can physically say, okay, well, I know how to do this, I know how to do this, I know how to do this. That means I can do it. It's not, oh, I feel like I'm bad at this, I feel like I'm bad at this, I feel like I'm bad at this. It's I can do it because I've done it before. If you have experience of doing something before, then you're ready to take action. So the way I also like to think through this is, let's say you are now going to go build a VSL funnel, right? New campaign, new meta ad campaign. Before you build it, if you think, okay, I know loosely what needs to happen, but I don't know this step. I don't know how to build out the landing page properly, like what the best practices are. I don't know the best confirmation page practices. Then you, at that point, can then think, okay, what information do I need to acquire so I can actually complete this to the highest degree possible? What information do I need to get to make sure I do this good, to make it simple? And that's my favorite lens to think through, because whenever you're deciding to maybe buy coaching or mentorship or, a course, whatever, you personally need to look at yourself and think, okay, where am I trying to get to in life? So you need to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, it's really hard to determine when's a good time to learn or take action, because it's sort of all based off of your goal. If you're trying to become a doctor, like I just said, you need to do years and years in uni. So that's the path you walk down. If you want to start an agency, different journey, right? But let's say we have this goal in mind. For example, let's say mine, 100K a month. There's all these skills you need to make in order to get there, right? And all these skills that I deploy to help my clients get there and beyond as well. Because I've done it for my clients already, which is funny. So to get them there is a certain types of skills you need to place in sequential order, so just one after the other, in order to make sure you get to that goal. For example, you need to know how to run ads, you need to know how to create a landing page, you need to know how to set up the automations on the back end, you need to know how to do sales. So there's multiple skills, right? And that's what breakdown. So when you're good at business, it just means you're good at sales, it means you're good at marketing, it means you're good at operations, logistics, fulfillment, right? They're all subsets of skills, and then skills are just tasks and that you carry out in order one by one. Sort of like with AI now, people have become really aware of, I think it's really a reflection of how the human mind works. When you give an agent a skill, it's basically a list of instructions of what to do step by step, and that's exactly how humans are prompted to. And when someone's context window is full, it means they can't think anymore. Same with an AI, and obviously their outcomes get worse, the performance get worse because there's too much in their head, there's too much that they're thinking about. So they need to go have a nap to reset that context window. But anyways, basically, the way I like to decide is this. So for example, first of all, choosing what information do I need to acquire so I can complete this to a degree or a standard that I'm happy with. Also, let's say you're running a funnel already and you're looking at all your metrics and you see your show up rate is way lower than everything else. What you should then do is you shouldn't go get some more marketing training just because you're good at it and you like talking about it and you're familiar with that, because let's say all the metrics there are good, like your click-through rates, your CPMs, are all really, really strong. Instead, you need to go look for a sales coach, a sales mentor, who can tell you, how can I improve my show-up rate? Now that can be linked to marketing as well with retargeting ads and stuff like that, but I'm specifically talking about show rates due to not having a good sales process. That's the point where you identify, all right, now I need to learn more. If you don't have the information already to improve that, you can take action to try anyways. You should always be taking action to try and set things up, right? Make stuff happen. But at the same time, you should be learning too. I think that's the best dynamic, because you see a lot of people that maybe sign a big client or something, or they reach their capacity and they're like, right, no more selling. That's not how it works. You keep selling, you just raise capacity at the same time, because to a business, right, sales is life, right? You need sales to keep it going, and you can't ever shut that down or shut down that flow, because you need the capacity. And even then, if your supply is still way higher than demand, you should still be selling, but just raise your prices a ton. So you kind of want more people to say yes, but then if they do, it's a price that is so good, it can allow you to change capacity really quickly, or it can allow you to fulfill something very easily, even with your limited supply. So be mindful of that. But you have to have in mind, what's your goal? That's where everything stems from. You can't take any decisions if you don't know where you're going. For example, if I want to drive to Liverpool, Manchester, for example, and I live in the Midlands, I know direction where I'm going, and then I carve out the map, right? So you put into Google Maps, it gives you all the directions. But if I didn't know where I was going, I'd just be driving around. So it's really important to have clear in your mind where you're going. So now we have that, we have the goal. Then I need to understand, okay, do I know all the steps I need to take in order to get there? Then plan it out. So you say, I'm going to get 200K a month. I need to sign this many clients at this price point, selling this thing, that thing. Okay, well, am I confident I can do all that? Yeah. Then take action. You don't need to learn anything else. And you can just say like, oh, I want to watch more YouTube videos first, or I want to do this first, I want to do that first. You can, but it's not going to make a difference. The only difference you'll see in your environment, in your surroundings, in your business, in whatever you're doing, is execution. And if you're not executing, you're not going to see a change. So make sure that you're not just learning for the sake of learning. And whenever you're actually learning something new, it's needed to get to that next stage. And always try to learn simultaneously. So learn alongside executing. And look for the things that you know are your bottleneck or your constraint. You want to learn, how can I open up this constraint so that more lead flow can come through? And once you learn that, and once you're aware of that, you'll then focus on that, improving that, then there'll be another constraint. And that's the next thing you might need to learn about, take action on, or get more knowledgeable on. It may even be you. You may be the constraint, which then leads to getting some mindset coaching, mindset help. So it's just being very, very aware of what the issue is. Because if all the metrics in your business are going well, but you're not trying to scale it, you're not taking more risk, then you need to think, well, maybe it's me. I'm the reason that this isn't getting higher, right? This isn't growing at the level I want to, because I'm not comfortable in my own head, or I have limiting beliefs which are stopping me from getting there. So, to reiterate one more time, make sure you're very aware of what your constraint is, what you need to know in order to get to the next stage. And if you're not very sure what you need to know, look for people who've done it already, who've walked your path before, and ask them what's needed. And if you have to pay them, then you have to pay them, right? I don't sign coaching, but a lot of my clients do. And a lot of the people that we sign, so that I help them sign, are people who are very clear on what they need and what they need help with. This just coach or educator is the missing step in their life goal so that they can get there. That's what a coach or a mentor comes in as. They don't come in as they should never be the main character, really. You're the main character. You in your life are the main character. You're just looking for the guy who can help you get to your goal. And that's how you should see everything. Cool. So then, I hope you found this valuable. Hopefully you can now know when you should either learn or take action. And now you're equipped with the skills to go make a lot of money, change lives, and make the world a better place. Cool. Be generous, work hard, take risks. Bye.